So this shows the caravan is all cleaned up, and what I've done is placed the drip rail in position overnight just whilst the floor dries. Now what you can see is there, it has rained a little bit, is that the water drains down the caravan onto the drip rail membrane. That then, in theory, will be under the plastic trims, so the water can't get onto the wooden floor. So this part of the video is just showing that underneath the van I've now done 3 coats of this Bideck barn paint. You can see in places the floor, it's like got splits in it. It's just started to delaminate in places, and all the bits they were perfectly fine. You can also see in this gap here where the drip rail will fit, so water will run down the outside and then off the rail, so then it doesn't touch the floor. I've done that all the way down up to near the chassis, and then I've also done across the back. I don't know if people remember my other video, but I've gone across the back. So just a quick video of the parts I've taken off. So this is the corner piece, fits onto here. Obviously this was all dirty before that. Fits on there like that. Securing this was 2 screws, one there and one underneath. Now along with that, oh, didn't want to do that. Along with that, it wouldn't come off, and I found inside there was this massive chunk of, looks like Sikaflex, which basically fitted in there like that and secured this plastic onto the rear panel. Also, what that did was seal that screw there, so that's another leak path that screws through. Don't actually know what it goes to. It probably actually goes to plastic, but yeah, so that secured the plastic panel like so onto there, along with 2 screws. So the car trim removal plastic levers, just, it wasn't too difficult, it did come off. That was the first piece I took off. Next piece was this is the drip rail. So that screws onto the side of the caravan right there, so you can see the profile of it and the screw holes. So a few things I don't get with this. So when the water runs down the side of the caravan here, in theory it runs onto the top of there. Now when the other trim is in, clips into there, the water's got nowhere to go apart from go all the way down this plastic, I think, to one end or this end, depending on which way obviously the caravan's sloping. You'd think there'd be some drip holes through here part way down, so the water can actually then pass down here and off the bottom. There isn't. So what this shows, I think, is that water must have come down the back of here to track down here and then off there and onto the floor. It was pretty well sealed on. It did take some getting off. It was probably the hardest part, but some time with plastic trim tools and it did come off. Obviously this is clean now. It was not in this state when I took it off. Same with the caravan. There was a lot of sealant stuck to there. That all had to be cleaned off. So this trim here, if there was a little drip rail on the bottom of here, a bit sticking down, in theory that may be good enough for down the sides. If this was fully sealed on there, like so, and a little rail, that'd probably do the job. What this only does though, is this does not cover the full length of the side of the van. So there's the last screw hole, sorry, not that. There's the last screw hole. You can see there's a couple of inches there where there'd be nothing. Same at the front, at the other end where it's by the wheel, it stops short. So this is the other part, the big long side trim with the lights on. You can see the end profile there, still need to clean it up a little bit, but basically this part right here there clips into that there. So I had to open this up with the plastic tools a bit, and once you open both sides up a little bit, it then enabled it to pull out. You can see that goes all the way down, along with this wire which fits in there that goes to the front light. So in theory that just clips back on, and I don't think there's any sealants around the top of this. I need to go and check around the van, but I don't think there's any sealant on the top of there. There certainly wasn't on this bit anyway. So a couple of observations. This screw hole here is where the actual plastic trim that I just showed you fixes on. You can see there it's just started to split, but that is only the top top layer of paint. This is fiberglass panel, so there's no plastic behind that can split and give the dreaded things that we see. This screw hole here holds the rear corner bumper on, but because it's so low, what you can see here is, there's my finger, that water's trapped from that screw in and rotted, well, allowed water to go through to allow the floor to start to delaminate. That's the same as we've seen on the rear panel, or the rear lower bumper on my other video, where the screw has not been sealed up and it allows water to trap down it. I don't really know how any of these Bailey caravans with this design can survive. Now, one of the difficult parts was the fact that the trim has a screw behind the bumper, sorry, the wheel arch there. Excuse my bit of masking tape, by the way, I use that as a marker when I put it back on. Yeah, there's a screw there, obviously it holds the wheel arch in, which I'll show you in a minute, has also damaged the floor underneath. That screw has allowed water to track through it and go through the side panel and onto the floor, and you can see how close it is to the floor anyway. So how is that going to work? The upper hole, that is for the long side trim. Now I managed to just pull the wheel arch forward enough to enable me to work on it. Behind there is some sealant where what it does, it just clips in and fits like that. So I will add a bit of Seeker just a little bit higher up, just to hold it where I've pulled it off a little bit. Yeah, underneath here isn't very pretty. Don't know if we can see it, but basically right there you can see where the screw has gone through. The water has tracked down and all the way along here and damaged the floor there. Now this view really doesn't look very pretty, but it's not as bad as it looks. So what I do plan to do is, in time to come, I will get this replaced. But the caravan was serviced a few weeks ago and has got zero damp. There was nothing recorded inside. So I'm quite confident that this ply here, or the damp that we've seen, is only on the outer plywood, not the inner. So hopefully I can save what we've got. You can see it's not all that bad, and the damage just seems to be the outer plywood, and we can see the exact reasons why. It's just rubbish design. Now I did quite a lot of reading online about which paint to use. It seemed most people rated the Zinser all-in-one. I was quite happy to use that. All this B-Deck people did also rate this. This B-Deck do a balm paint and a normal paint. I went to my local paint shop, who seemed to know the stuff, And to be honest, they said the Zinsser, the B-Deck and the B-Deck barn paint, they're all very good. The one thing I did like about this barn paint was it said excellent resistance for cracking, blistering, flaking, rain and severe weather. Now I know we are not going to get severe weather on the floor of a caravan. Well, we shouldn't do anyway. But a couple of other paint shop people I'd spoken to said that the Zinsser stuff isn't there to get wet. So the reason that that said it can help with in severe weather, I just thought, well, we'll try that one. I think they're all very similar. This was actually a little bit cheaper as well. I think the Zinsser was 46 and I got this for 38 or something. So I think they're all as good as each other for this job. I just took the one that was the £10 cheaper one, which, yeah, seems to be probably as good as the rest. First coat was watered down because it does say for porous substrates, which this floor, this wood is, I'd suggest it's porous. So the first coat was done 30% water, and it's had 2 more coats just as standard paint. Just done the last one. It says I can recoat in 4 hours. Obviously I don't need to recoat now. I'll probably give this all day to dry and then start putting it back together tomorrow. So this is my piece of membrane. It did take a few attempts to get it correct. What I've done is, obviously this isn't the piece I'm going to use, but now I've managed to make it exactly the length that I can use little slot into the caravan. And these markings here, these are 30mm, so from the top to the line is 30mm. So that is how much I can push up into the caravan all the way along. I'll do this equal so that then it should drop without any sort of waves or bows in it. You can see at the other end there that that's the length it will be. And this is screw fix, £5 for 100 metres, so it doesn't matter if you do a few attempts to get it bang on correct. So what I will do is, whilst this floor dries, obviously the problem is if it rains, water will run down the side of the caravan and onto the caravan wooden floor. I'm then just going to push this drip rail, the membrane, into position so that obviously it does its job. The rain won't go onto the floor then. It can dry as it needs to. So another update, the seeker that I've put along here just to hold the actual membrane in position, it hasn't stuck to the membrane, so basically peeling off. So that little plan didn't work. However, it's not really going to go anywhere anyway. Now, one other thing that I have thought about is that when this trim goes in here, that's obviously how it sits. If there was a little skirt added to the bottom of here, it's like a little L piece to make it that a little bit longer, that may be all that's required to resolve this issue. So just food for thought that this membrane, although this is a full clear line of defence, it could get away with just a little L-shape trim on the bottom of there. So just an observation, if we can focus. Under this bit of floor here, it's wet and it's very hard to see, but in there's a gap. So I think it's almost definite that these side trims either weren't secured well in the first place, or it's one of those jobs that on all the Baileys you've got to take them off, probably a bit like awning rails, to get to a point where, or they did, where they need taking off and resealing. And what we can see here is, I think it's just that job. It's all got to come off, it's got to be resealed. So just easing it off, I've managed to get most of the way. Quite difficult to get in here where the box lid is, external locker lid, because basically you have to get this plastic trim tool and basically push it all the way down here. This one is coming off easier than the other side. I don't think it's been off before, but it's definitely had some silicone bodges in previously. Then there, and it had silicone in here, and you can see in the back of there, it's not really much sealant. So yeah, no wonder these leak. Just not very equally put on by the look of it, but we're nearly off, and you can see what's left. So a bit of sort of elbow grease, plastic scrapers, clean all that off, give it a good clean ready for the reapplication of the trim. Also obviously clean the trim up. This one has previously been off, you can see down here as well with the cable for the side light. It's been off before, that has. And what we can see is same as the other side. This screw hole here is so close to the bottom of the floor and it's not sealed, so behind there the floor is soft and wet because it goes straight through that screw head there. So just a bit of an update, I didn't take some videos or pictures as I should have done earlier. So what I've basically done is cleaned this skirt up with elbow grease and then methylated spirit, same on the side of the caravan, to prepare it for putting the skirt back on. I put a line of masking tape along a couple of millimeters above the trim, just so that when I put the Sikaflex on, I can then pull the tape off to get a nice sort of line up to the caravan without it going everywhere. So I've done it all, it's gone on quite well. My Sikaflexing, I was playing with it a bit too long, as you can tell right there. So it's fine, but because I played with it when I shouldn't do, it's gone a bit manky. However, all the screw heads are covered. I could have tidied it up along this trim, but I've chosen to leave it. The Sikaflex behind it, the Sikaflex across the top like a fillet all the way along. Could be a bit neater, but today it's boiling hot and it's gone off pretty damn quick. So I had to just stop playing with it. It might not be the prettiest, probably not what I would want in my bathroom. However, it's significantly secured and sealed and will not be seen. So I've left it. What you can see underneath there, that is the membrane. So the membrane goes to about 30 mil from the bottom of the caravan. So it's not stuck in, the membrane isn't, it's wedged in, and then it's basically held in by this trim. It can't come out. And you can see there that it's all the way up to as far as it can go, and any water coming down the side of the van can't go anywhere. What I may do is just do a bit of something at the bottom of that awning rail, just so that when it comes down the awning rail it can't touch the floor. Whether it be like cut a Coca-Cola bottle up that's that diameter or that radius and just stick it around the bottom, not sure, but we'll see how we go. So far that's looking good. Hard work done on that one. Can let that dry for 24 hours, then push the side trimmer on and put the screws in to hold the wheel arch and this corner piece. Obviously Sikaflex either side of the screw so nothing can get through it. I'm now going to go and do the other side. So I'm gluing the side skirts on now. This hole here is one of the biggest contributors to this hole or spongy floor behind here. So where this side skirt or the wheel arch screws through there, through this panel here, through that hole right there, and then into the floor, it's just a leak path. Now that will also be going through the membrane we've put in. So I'm going to put quite a bit of Sikaflex around here, around the back of there, around this screw hole here, on the back of it as well. If that leaks, it sort of ruins the whole repair. I've done the other side, I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. So this is a few weeks on from after completing all the work. What we can see is I put some sealant around there to try and just stop the water going mainly down the back there. It's not essential, but I thought I'd do it. Likewise, I don't know if it should be sealed here, but I just put some sealant around here, down there, and you can see, or can you, behind there, and then the screw head is also covered. It's 2 weeks on now, and if I put my fingers underneath, it is dry. There's nothing there. So I like to think that the job that was done was satisfactory. It's done it well. Yeah, nothing more to add really. So I hope people have found this video useful. I've not spent hours editing it, as you can clearly see. I've literally just put all the videos together that I took whilst doing the job, and then put them all together and published it. So I hope it's useful. If anyone wants to comment or contact me regarding anything, then no problem. All does seem dry. As I say, I have had it serviced a few months ago, or probably 6 weeks ago. I couldn't find damp anywhere. So yeah, fingers crossed. The front end's going in to have some floor replaced under the Bailey warranty, because luckily this one's got the extended Bailey 6 to 10 year warranty. So that's having some work done on the front, hence why I've not taken the skirts off there, because hopefully that'll all be fixed up. The back, I'll just monitor it, keep an eye out over the next few services, and maybe in time to come get that outer floor replaced. But to be honest, I don't think it's essential. It's painted, it's covered. As long as it doesn't get damp, I'm not bothered. I think it'll be fine. There's sort of no point changing something if it doesn't need fixing. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Thanks for watching. I know it's a long video, but hey, cheers, bye bye.